Thank you so much. So we've got the Honorable Commissioner for Communication and Orientation Edo State, Mr. Chris Nekari. Mr. You're welcome to the program this morning on ITV.
Thank you very much.
You were backstage watching the pensioners, talking about how the state government stopped paying and all that. Now, what became rusty of the relationship that your government had with the pensioners when you started sometime in 2016?
Well, first and foremost, I have to clarify something. The state government never stopped paying. You heard him, Power Edmond speak just now. He said all the pensions arrears have been cleared. And as of today, they receive all their pensions at as when due. We're current with the pensions. What he is complaining about, or what they are talking about, is gratuities. Yes, gratuities. Not everyone is receiving gratuities right now. But the state government has consistently budgeted 1 billion annually for gratuities. And just last year, 1 billion was paid out as gratuities to some pensioners. We also pay out debt insurance and other things, all in arrears. You recall, and it's mentioned it just now, these gratuities are in arrears. They're not ones accumulated within the lifespan of this government from 2016 to date. No. They came back, they're in arrears from 2011, 2012
yeah.
to 2016.
Yeah.
It's a huge sum of money. And there's lots of auditing that needs to take place, which government is doing. And in spite of that, government still makes payments to selected people. When they say government has not paid at all, that is what I said is not true.
Yeah, but one thing, Honorable, you see, when we engage government officials about gratuities and pension allowance, people will always say that is an inherited debt and all that. But you know that when government comes aboard, liability, debt and all that, you inherit them too.
Exactly, and that is why that's what I just told you now. We have been paying gratuities. Maybe not at the speed they want. Not that everybody has been paid, but I can tell you last year, at least 1 billion naira was paid out as gratuities to those that retired before this government even came in. That is from 2012.
Where has the government stopped now?
It's not a matter of where has government stopped.
Yeah, we need to know the year that the government has stopped for the payment of gratuities.
It doesn't work like that. The government may not have paid in yearly in the sequence, no. But there are people that come in, we assist those, maybe some have medical issues, some need to make payments or this and that, and then in sequence we have been making this payment. It's a long time, 2012 to 2016, and lots of pensioners have retired since then. The gratuity bill is a huge bill, and government is doing it gradually. We have every month 100 million, like he mentioned in his own interview, government budgets 100 million for gratuities every month, and from that 100 million we make payments as it comes up. Not only for the recently retired, but also for those that retired between 2012 to date. Exactly.
Okay, but what we need to know here, because it appears that these pensioners are not being carried along. I told you that I ran into the procession at Ring Road sometime about last week. Are they carried along? Are they told all this? Because
first of all, I don't think you should say you ran into it. Pressmen were invited. We were all invited. I was invited. We all saw the procession. Yeah. And you see, when I mentioned in my write-up that it was politically motivated, the timing of it. This year was the second day or the third day of this year.
But do you think if you had attended to them before now, they would have been on the streets? Don't you think so?
Been on the streets?
I mean, being on the street protesting. I mean, to be at King Square protesting.
We've not attended to all of them. Those that protested, some of them have ulterior motive. You spoke to them. You saw the interviews they granted. The interviews they granted exposed why they were doing it, as far as I was concerned. It was clear. It was not a case of asking for money. The interview they granted, the timing of it. So I'm a politician. I work for government, and I read these trends. Now, even if we're implementing a new budget, January 2nd was the first day of work. Now, the budget could have been implemented on that day. You know, one of them spoke the other just now that in 2016 we were about to protest, and the day before the president came to commission a project, but somebody leaked and someone pleaded with them. Now, the person that has such power to tell them do not disrupt government I also believe that person has the power to tell them, please come and disrupt government. Because we're having a rally the day after, but we want to embarrass this government. And some of them fell for it. Some of their leaders are engaging with government daily, monthly. And you know exactly what government is doing. Some of the leaders of the pensioners.
Okay. Now, we
made promises that will clear the backlog. That we did.
Yeah.
We made promises that we pay them regularly. That we did. And then we made promises that the gratuity will be paid. It will be paid, all will be paid. But right now, we're doing it in stages.
But are you concerned? I mean,
of course we're all concerned.
You're a politician. This period now you are campaigning.
Yes.
Are you concerned that opposition political parties may catch in on this? Are you concerned at all?
I will tell you, we will not be intimidated or blackmailed. We'll do the right thing at all times for the benefit of the people. If you're going to blackmail government to get what you think you deserve, it will work.
So when do you think is the right time? After the election?
There's no right time or wrong time for this. What I'm trying to tell you is that these things are done in stages. There should be communication, there should be negotiation, there should be time. You should listen to government. You know, when you fly with the narrative that government collected so amount of money for Paris Club, you fly with the narrative that federal government is now dictating to state governments how they should spend their money. It's obviously clear that is not true. It's not possible for federal government to dictate to a state government how to spend his money.
Okay. Now, because of time, what's one special word you're going to tell pensioners of Edo State today so that they have that right respite that, look, government is with them? So what are you telling them?
I'll tell them, trust this government. You've trusted this government before. Keep trusting this government. Whatever is owed, the gratuity will be paid. We promised to clear up the pensions arrears, and we did. We promised to make sure you get a pension as when due, and you are getting it. The gratuities we are promising you, all of it will be paid. Some of your
government is leaving power 2024. That's
we
about
have
next year. Are you going to pay
least
all before you leave? Is that what you're saying?
We will attempt to pay as much as possible. I wish we can pay everything, but you see, the resources are scarce. But the demands and the want for things to do is quite large. We have to satisfy a huge segment of Edo people. Don't also forget, we have a young workforce, which we have to make to grow our workforce. All the younger people need to also work. We cannot say because we are taking care of the aged, so the younger ones should suffer. Because it's the work of the younger ones that takes care of the aged.
Anyway, because of time, I want to say a very big thank you to Chris Naikari, who is the Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Edo State. Despite a very tight schedule, you still found time to come. Thank you so much. All right, so the program is off for today. That's how we end the program today.